Are beers a trigger for eczema?
Once I touch very hazy stuff, very milky stuff, very thick stuff like stouts or hazy IPAs.
Today, I'll be sharing about Hong Wen, a patient who came in for TSW. He came into the clinic and exited the clinic within 6 months. And that is pretty good given how bad his skin was. We dive into Hong Wen's eczema journey, how he transitioned from TSW to herbs and then to supplements. Let me fill you in on his backstory. I'm Dr. Mark. I'm based in Singapore and I treat topical steroid withdrawal. In this video, he will first talk about what we discovered were the triggers that prevented his TSW from healing.
Previously, I know histamines is one of the main concerns. So I did some Google. Gluten doesn't help. Obviously, it's anything sort of like preserved and not fresh, canned food, processed food. So I tried to cut all this out, and I realized gluten is one of those I can really see the difference after maybe if I don't take gluten for a week.
Recently, he just came back. Everything is fine according to him. And what surprised me was that despite continuing to drink beer for his work, he managed to keep TSW inflammation on the low by going off certain triggers that triggered him much worse than a beer would. In his situation, we started him on Chinese herbs, and both the herbs and the KEP therapy started bringing down his skin inflammation to a low enough state that he could come with less frequency and subsequently lower his dosage of herbs.
1.5 months at least I did every week, and then space out to twice a month, and then eventually it was once a month, and then I stopped after maybe 6 months. I think the first month was really just to control the flares, and then the second one was sort of like better, and then the third one was really maintenance, sort of trying to figure out what the mix of like, not relying too much on herbs.
Now, why the need to transition? Well, at our clinic, the goal here is never to keep you here. We win when you get out. But usually what happens is, first we need to bring inflammation down to a manageable level. And once it is manageable, then only do we start reducing dosage or reducing frequency of treatments. Ultimately, we want the person's body to be able to manage inflammation on its own and not to rely on us. But note, we can't stop everything suddenly. Usually we taper down, and in Hong Wen's case, he asked what supplements he could use. And so he slowly transitioned from this amount of herbs to something less, and then he started using supplements at the recovery stage of TSW, and that helped him.
L-glutamine, quercetin, I think probiotic, and fish oil. So that sort of works, helps to maintain my sort of condition, cause I took those daily. So the herbs actually helps, but the daily kind of maintenance is through those supplements.
But remember, it's not just that. Most important was his diet, and he has shared his biggest triggers.
Really abstain from eating bread, abstain from eating pasta, noodles, that kind of stuff. So I think I felt a difference within a month of not eating pastas or noodles or wheat.
Lastly, the bonus for this video. Beers. Let's listen to what kinds of beers are worse for eczema and what kinds of beers are slightly better.
Some beers, right, like the IPAs or highly fermented stuff with more gluten actually makes a very big difference with like very light beers. I realized lagers and ales are lighter colored beers. They are less fermented, right, and then less ABV. So I realized that those I can actually drink and not really feel much of a trigger. So I realized it's that difference between whether is it highly fermented or lowly fermented, and also whether the ABV is higher or lower. Yeah.
And so to summarize, know your triggers. Being aware of your triggers is key, whether it's a certain kind of beer, whether it's gluten, or the environment. If you have your own recovery stories or want to share your opinions on beer or gluten below, please drop a comment. Otherwise, that's all for this episode. Until the next time.